Hi everybody, I want to do this video for a viewer who asked a number of questions and I responded to all of them in the comments, but I want to go ahead and just make this video to sort of get it up and out on the large scale broadband, if you will. This viewer asked a number of good questions. So there are 3 questions. Number 1 is, what do you do about a girl who still has feelings for her ex-boyfriend and hasn't really fully moved on, and you're with this person? Do you support them emotionally, like describe explain the dynamic of the situation and what somebody should do? So that was one. The second one is, whenever you're dating, how do you recognize early on that somebody has no empathy, especially if they're trying to hide it? And then the third one is, if all you've ever encountered is love bombing and you don't know what normal flirting's like, how do you know what normal flirting is and how do you do it? So there's a lot to cover in this video, so I'm going to try and go as quick as I can. The one I think is most important is the one about being with a girl who is still has feelings for her ex and isn't really over it. When I met my wife, she was still good friends with her ex. They had been together a year. Early on in the relationship, I really liked her, and she was very clear that first of all, you have to be able to sort of recognize when somebody's being genuine. Okay, I had just recently met her, and I liked her, but this was also after having gone through divorce and studying quite a bit about pickup arts, seduction, female psychology, all these things. So I was intimately familiar with the concepts of hypergamy, with monkey branching, plate spinning, all of that. So at that time, when she said, I'm gonna go meet my ex up at the bar where I met her. It's a bar called the West End. She's like, I'm gonna go up to the West End and meet my ex-boyfriend up there. And she says, is full disclosure, he and I are still friends, but we have both agreed that we are not going to be each other's fallback, but we have each other's back and we look out for each other. And you need to know this. If it's a problem, tell me now. Otherwise, I'd like for you to come up to the bar and meet him, have drinks with us, and hang out. Well, the first thing that came to my mind was, this is clearly a shit test to see how I respond. So when I hear the question of what to do about a girl who's still, has feelings for their ex, understand that it could be a monkey branching thing, because even though my now wife did that, I still saw it that way, and I still do. However, it really, you as a man, you have to decide right away how you're going to handle it. And the way that I handled it then was, well, if he's still in the picture, you and I are not exclusive, and I'm still going to talk to other girls and see other girls. And that's pretty much what I told her. Fine that you're still friends with your ex, but I'm not about to start, I'm not going to start shrinking the scope of my personal life because of this. So don't expect me to. And I went up there and I had drinks with them, and as it turns out now, years later, he's ex-military, and so she was, because she was still, they had broken up, she was out on her own, and I can see this. She wanted somebody who could, she really liked me, but she wanted somebody else that could give an opinion and sort of shit test me and have another guy size me up as a guy and get a guy's opinion. And so that was the purpose of it. And so she had told him, I don't know, test him. Well, I can tell you, ladies, if you have a guy friend who's ex-military, don't ask him to test a civilian guy, okay? It's probably not a good idea. But I digress. The way you handle this situation with an ex who still has feelings for her ex, if you care about the girl, if you like the girl, that's fine. You need to recognize that there's a good chance that they're probably still having sex, and if they're not still having sex, that's going to be the first dick she runs to. The very second you piss her off, or when she decides she's unhappy with you. That means that he is still an option for her. So you do not commit to her. You don't necessarily have to dump her or break up with her, but you need to also be pursuing other girls. Do not make this girl your sole pursuit. It will backfire. You will fail, and she will go back to her ex and or some new guy. Right? You need to show that you're not threatened by the fact there's an ex, but you're also not going to be a beggar either. As a man, you should be able to secure your own sex. Period. You control your sex. You control your birth control. Do not rely on women to be taking birth control. You control your birth control. That means you either use a condom, you get a vasectomy, pull out, put some duct tape on the tip, I don't know, something. But you should always be taking your own actions for your own birth control, okay, as a guy. Now, the other questions about how to recognize when somebody's an empath, and also how to recognize love bombing. This is a very good test that I like to do. Is I like to see how people treat their waiters. I've met many a waiter who know this. They know their role in people dating. And, I used to work in a restaurant. I used to be a food runner, not a waiter, but a food runner. But I was, obviously in the mix with a bunch of servers and a bunch of waiters. It's a somewhat common thing. You can approach a waiter, off to the side and say, hey, look, I'm on this date. I want to try and sort of see what this person's made of. Bring the wrong food. It's like, I will pay you extra on your tip. Can you bring the wrong order out or mess the order up? Or do something like maybe fill my drink but not theirs. Do something that's gonna irk them. Don't go to the extreme. Don't spill a drink or any of that shit, right? We're not looking for that. Just minor inconvenience. Maybe let their cup run out and disappear for a while. Something, whatever your decision is. And then you see how this other person treats the waiter based on lackluster service. Not just how they treat them, but sort of how they respond and react to them. Does it ruin their night? Do they get sullen, and do they get irritated? I mean, does it shift the mood of the evening? And that's what you're looking for. Whenever the shit goes down with the waiter, look at the dynamic shift of the evening. Okay? If it really brings the mood down, then you're dealing with somebody with emotional instability. Okay? And if somebody's emotionally unstable, that's clearly a red flag. So that's one tip. But overall, when it comes to recognizing people who have empathy and people who don't, and also with recognizing love bombing, this is something that it takes a skill that can only develop with experience over time. So what you want to do, there's an excellent book that I picked up called The Natural. It's a book by Richard La Ruina, and it's a book about how to seduce and sleep with the woman that you want to sleep with, basically. In a nutshell, it's a pickup arts book about getting laid. But the reason I recommend it is because when it's under the pickup arts genre. When you actually read up on the author, he is a dating coach for men who formerly aspired, he previously aspired to be a, quote, pickup artist. Like, he was one of these guys who read The Game by Neil Strauss and wanted to go around town being a, quote, pickup artist and go out gaming with all of his pickup artist buddies, like Night at the Roxbury. Bam, 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 bam. I don't know, some of you will get that reference, some of you won't. That's how he was doing. And then he quickly realized that this is not the way to go. This does not work. And so the point of The Natural is he makes a very good analysis of some of these guys who are just natural successes with women. These are the guys who can walk in and walk out with anybody's girlfriend. They're the guys that girls compete and fight over. He can openly tell other girls that he's sleeping with their friends and they're okay with it. All these things, there's a type of man who's just naturally good with women, and so that's the term The Natural. And so when you read this book, it has a very, very, very good middle section about conversation, and it goes over the whole art of conversation, the structure of conversations, and how to have it. The key to a successful date, the key to finding a sexual partner, the key to having a relationship is conversation. Conversation is literally what drives the connection between two people. Girls are looking for guys that they connect with emotionally, and you create those connections through conversation. So this is what you do. Read The Natural, and if you don't want to read it, I can give you the high level view of what you need to do. First of all, you're not looking for dates, you're not looking for sex. What you want to do is you want to just start meeting as many people of the opposite sex as possible. This is what you need to do. You need to learn how to approach, cold approach and warm approach. You need to learn how to approach people of the opposite sex. You need to learn the approach. You need to learn how to open a conversation. You need to learn how to up that conversation. You need to identify things that this person likes, good things you two can talk about, and then talk about the things this person likes. And then once you have a good conversation going, you need to be the one to cut the conversation off, end the conversation, bring it to a close, but get their phone number. And you need to rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Because what's going to happen is, once you get to the point where you can reliably get phone numbers from a total stranger after walking up to them, striking up a conversation, having a good conversation, to the point where they're like, I really want to have more conversations with this person in the future. Once you get to that point, then you'll know what normal flirting looks like, because you will be doing it. If that makes sense. So once you master what normal flirting looks like, love bombing becomes far easier to identify, because you will have a body of experience and knowledge to build upon, right? And then the other question of whether or not somebody is an empath will also fall in line. So that's what you got to do. And you can be absolutely honest when people say, what's your intention? Why are you here talking to me? What you say is, like, I'm in a good mood today and I just feel like trying to meet new people and make new friends. Like, that's it. No, seriously. I probably won't even call you later. The whole point of this was just because I want to meet people, because I feel like that's not something I do well historically, and I need to learn. I'm out of time. Thank you for listening. Please like, comment, or share, and I'll see you on the next video.